Welcome back to the Kyle Olson Show. I don't have to tell you that Michigan's economy has been rocked by the coronavirus, and perhaps more specifically, Governor Gretchen Whitmer's reaction to it. Consider this story from MLive. Michigan steel plant to close permanently, affecting over 300 workers. This is one story of many that are going on in Michigan. AK Steel in Dearborn will close, quote, due to rapidly deteriorating business conditions, according to a filing with the state. Plant owner Cleveland Cliffs estimates about 343 workers will lose their jobs beginning June 5th. This is one story of many that are taking place as a result of the coronavirus, but our state's reaction to it. All told, so far, 1.2 million Michigan workers have filed for unemployment. As a little perspective, there are about 10 million residents of the state of Michigan. This is having a major impact on businesses, but more importantly, on families, on breadwinners, on children, our state as a whole. Michigan Unemployment Agency Director Steve Gray said that his agency typically takes 5,000 to 7,000 calls per day out of work Michiganders. He said now the agency is taking upwards of 150,000 calls per day. His agency, which was taking on withering criticism from frustrated workers who were out of work but were not able to get through, he said that the agency has now expanded hours and added 650 people to the phones. There was an article in February prior to the state shutdown that Michigan manufacturing was expecting to be especially hit hard by coronavirus. Michigan, I don't have to tell you, is a manufacturing state. We have strong roots in manufacturing. We're a blue-collar state, which is why I think President Trump resonated here and Hillary Clinton did not in 2016. But 14.2% of Michigan employment is based in manufacturing compared to 8.5% nationally. This is from the Detroit News, February 28th, which results in the state being exposed to the potential of production slowdowns and layoffs because of the impact on the supply chain, the impact that the virus is having on the supply chain. Gus Foucher, who is chief economist for PNC Financial Services Group, said manufacturing is more vulnerable because of supply chain disruptions, which of course proved true here in Michigan. One of the problems that we face, and I'll be talking about this with Brigitte Gabriel in the next segment, that Michigan and America have shipped so many jobs overseas due to NAFTA and other trade policies that we have to do everything we can, and I believe that President Trump is on board with this and is focusing on this. We have to shift manufacturing back to America, and we have to support companies. We have to buy from companies that are manufacturing in America. But one of the problems that the Detroit News found was that the components that go into American manufacturing are also produced in China and other countries around the world. And so it's not just a matter of jobs, it's a matter of the supply chain and getting the supplies and the products needed to be able to produce those products in America. Here are some manufacturing statistics that I think can help to put this in perspective for what this means for Michigan. This is from the National Association of Manufacturers. Manufacturers in Michigan account for 19.38% of the total output in the state, employing 14.2% of the workforce, as I said earlier. Total output for manufacturing was $102 billion in 2018. In addition, there were an average of 630,000 manufacturing employees in Michigan in 2018, with an average annual compensation of $79,320. Think about that. $79,320 is the average compensation. The median household income in 2017 in Michigan, $54,909. It pays, literally, to have a manufacturing job. Additionally, the percent share of total gross state product of manufacturing output in firms, 19.38%. Michigan is a manufacturing state, and that's something that we need to continue to focus on. And I think that that is something that President Trump certainly was focusing on prior to the coronavirus outbreak. And I believe that those jobs will return, and he will put an even bigger emphasis on returning those jobs to America. What's interesting to see what is happening with the coronavirus and the impact that, or the influence and the involvement that China had, is that this makes it all the more clear that China should not be an economic partner of America. We should not be relying on China to provide us with medical supplies, other supplies for our economy. We should be making as much as we can in America, and I think that Michigan, of all the states in the union, can lead the way on that. Now, McKinsey & Company, which is it's a consulting firm that does very high-priced research and analysis, proposed several different ways. This was just in the last couple years, again, prior to the coronavirus. But they proposed several different ways that the state and that the country can improve manufacturing. And I believe enacting some of these policies, combined with the leadership of a President Trump administration, could lead to a resurgence in manufacturing in America and Michigan specifically. So one of the things that they say to increase manufacturing in America is that they need to scale up efforts on multiple fronts to compete in the future. One is to strengthen the U.S. supplier base. So not just creating products and manufacturing products in America, but also manufacturing the components that go into them. Pursue growth through deeper global engagement. So not just having products come into America, but exports as well. According to McKinsey, less than 1% of U.S. companies sell abroad, a far lower share than in other large advanced economies. The United States is already the largest recipient of foreign direct investment, particularly from China and India. The federal government can play a bigger role in facilitating these matches and directing investment where it is needed most, as investment promotion agencies do in other countries around the world. We need to improve digital adoption to boost productivity, develop the manufacturing workforce of the future, including, according to McKinsey, they say many manufacturers, particularly in advanced industries, report difficulties filling open positions. Over the longer term, these issues will seem likely to worsen. The manufacturing workforce is aging, and highly specialized skills will be lost to retirement. The median age of the U.S. worker in the aerospace supply chain, for instance, is 50 years old. One of the problems from the Obama administration is that they put such a huge emphasis on 4-year degrees. Every student needs to go to college. Now, I think that they had ulterior motives, because if you look at Elizabeth Warren is a good example. There is a baked-in interest amongst the left of sending kids to college, having kids going to college, and perpetuating the education industry. But when you look at the statistics and you talk to manufacturers, they have high-paying jobs. I talked about that earlier, and they need to fill them. They have vacancies. And so I think what the Trump administration should be doing as we get out of coronavirus is putting a bigger emphasis on trades, on trade schools, on skilled jobs, because not only are they good jobs, they are high-paying, and they help to continue to put an emphasis on America first. Again, prior to coronavirus, there has been a resurgence in U.S. manufacturing. According to Harry Moser of the Reshoring Initiative, 170,000 manufacturing jobs reshored in 2017, and I think that is only going to increase. When we come back, we're going to talk to Brigitte Gabriel, chairman of Act for America, so don't go away.